You are a loser. And it's not because life dealt you a bad hand or because the world is unfair. It's because deep down, you've accepted it. You've accepted the version of yourself that always gives up, always complains, always finds a way to justify staying weak. Every man has a moment where he either decides to change or rot, where he either steps up or gives in. And if you're hearing this and feel attacked, good, because that's the part of you that's still alive, the part that knows you were never meant to be average. See, no one's coming to fix your life. No friend, no woman, no family member is going to drag you to greatness. That's on you. And right now, you're losing because you haven't made the choice to win. Not really. You say you want it, but your habits say otherwise. You say you're grinding, but spend hours scrolling. You say you want respect, but you don't respect yourself. You look in the mirror and feel disappointed because deep down, you're wasting potential. You're built for more, and that guilt, it doesn't go away. It follows you into every lazy day, into every weak excuse. It's in the back of your head when you say, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe when I'm ready, but you're never ready. Life doesn't wait for you to get it together. And being a loser isn't about where you are, it's about what you tolerate. And right now, you tolerate mediocrity, you tolerate being soft, you tolerate being unseen, unheard, unworthy, but that's not who you have to be. You can flip that switch right now and decide you've had enough. Decide the excuses are done. Decide the weakness dies today. It starts by doing what you've been avoiding. Get up, train, even when you don't want to eat. Like your future depends on it. Work when everyone else sleeps. Build discipline like your life depends on it, because it does. No more hiding behind comfort. No more chasing distractions. No more blaming your past. Men are forged in the fire, and the fire doesn't care how you feel. It only burns away what doesn't belong. You want to stop being a loser? Start by becoming someone you don't recognize, someone who scares your old self, someone who doesn't negotiate with his dreams. You want power. You want respect. You want freedom. Then earn it day by day in silence, when no one's watching, while your old friends laugh, while your demons try to drag you back. You rise. And when the world finally sees you, they won't recognize you, because the loser is dead. The man has arrived. In every generation, there are men who rise, not because they're the loudest, richest, or most liked, but because they learn to control the one thing most people never do: themselves. Mastery of self. That's the dividing line. That's the root of true power. Not muscles, not fame, not women, but total command over your own mind, emotions, discipline, and energy. A man who has mastered himself is dangerous, not in a violent way, but in a calm, unshakable, commanding way. He walks into a room and doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't flinch, doesn't overshare, doesn't chase approval. He's not desperate to be seen. That's the type of man the world can't control, because he controls himself. Look around today. Most men are slaves. Slaves to lust, slaves to dopamine, slaves to their phones, their comfort, their fear of rejection. They work jobs they hate, keep habits that drain them, and waste years waiting for motivation to show up. And when they do make a little progress, they self sabotage because they've never built a real foundation. They've never forged discipline in silence. Self mastery is the foundation of everything. Without it, you're a walking target. You can be manipulated, distracted, controlled, but with it, you become a man who sets his own direction, stands firm under pressure, and doesn't fold when life gets hard. Let me break it down. Mastering yourself means you wake up when you say you will. You go to the gym when it sucks. You eat for fuel, not pleasure. You control your urges instead of letting them control you. You don't chase every impulse. You can sit in silence. You can be bored and not reach for your phone. You can be stressed and not reach for porn or weed or alcohol. You can feel lonely and not run to people who disrespect you. That's real strength. That's rare. And that's why so many men lose, because they never build that. There's no shortcut to this. You don't get it by watching motivational videos or reading quotes. You get it by doing the work when no one is watching, by facing the uncomfortable truths about yourself, by choosing discipline when comfort is screaming your name. Every time you resist an urge, you gain power. Every time you delay gratification, you earn respect from yourself. Let me say this loud and clear. A man who cannot control himself will be controlled by everything else. Society, women, bosses, trends, addictions, insecurities. He will chase things that weaken him and call it freedom. But a man who masters himself, he doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't panic, he plans. He doesn't crumble, he adapts. That's dominance, not over others, but over the only kingdom that matters, yourself. If you want to dominate in this world, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, you need to start with your own mind. Learn how it works. Learn your weaknesses. Learn your triggers. Build habits that sharpen your edge. Read books that make you uncomfortable. Train when you're tired. Hold yourself to a higher standard when nobody else will. That's the battlefield. That's where the real war is fought. This kind of man isn't loud. He doesn't need validation. He doesn't broadcast his every move. His results speak. His presence says enough. His discipline is his signature, and his life, his peace, his power, his precision becomes the proof. Master yourself. Dominate everything. Right now, your legacy is mediocrity. It's the default path. It's what happens when you let life decide for you. When you surrender your power and just go with the flow. Well, here's the truth. The flow is designed to drown you. It wants you passive, predictable, soft broke ashamed, silenced, easy to control. The world has no use for strong, independent men. And that's exactly why you must become one. Because you were never meant to be average. You were meant to be a hammer in a world of glass. But that only happens if you walk the hard path, the lonely path, the disciplined path, and stop acting like the world owes you something. It owes you nothing. Every inch you want, you earn through sweat pain, silence, and relentless focus. And let's be real for a second. No one respects the man who never changes. He's the same dude every year, same complaints, same addictions, same story. That man is a warning, not a model. People talk about him in pity, not admiration. And if that scares you good, it means you're awake. And that awareness is the beginning of all power. Your standards must become sacred. What you allow is what you become. And most of you allow trash. You tolerate weakness in your routines, in your diet, in your words, in your circle, and then wonder why your life is soft and chaotic. Cut it all. Anything that makes you weaker must go. Even if it's comfortable, even if it's fun, even if it's been with you for years, the cost of your future is your comfort. Now, every moment you delay is betrayal of the man you were supposed to become. Every lie you tell yourself is self-sabotage. Every time you scroll instead of build, you shrink. While another man rises while you binge, he studies while you rest, he trains while you distract, he sharpens. That man becomes elite while you stay invisible, and you know it deep down. That's why it burns, because you see what you could be every time you're alone. So use the fire. Don't waste it. Take that pain, that regret, that hunger, and forge it into a weapon. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Now get up. Write the vision. Make the plan. Kill the weakness. Wake up early. Train. Harder, speak less. Move. More, rid. Build, lead, and repeat every day without fail until one day you look in the mirror and there's no more shame, no more hiding, no more pretending. Just a man forged in fire. A man who doesn't need approval because he walks with purpose, who doesn't need applause because his actions speak so loud, no one can deny it. That man is in you right now, and the only way he comes out is through pain, through process, through pressure. He's not born, he's built. And today is the day. The old version of you dies, and the real man is born. Most of your life has been lived as a background character. You're not even the main event in your own story. You wake up, go through routines, built by someone else, live in boxes you didn't design, scroll through feeds of men doing what you wish you could, and then convince yourself they're lucky or faking it or had help. And that lie is why you stay small. Because it's easier to say they had it better than to admit I wasted time. And while you wasted, someone else is using it to build the life you were too scared to pursue. But no one is coming to push you. No one is coming to save you. That burning inside you, that's your only shot. And that's your alarm clock. Your soul telling you, get the hell up, because your life doesn't change with more information, it changes with decisions. You don't need another video. You need war on your excuses. You're not weak because of your childhood or your trauma. You're weak because you've chosen to stay there every man gets broken. At some point, the difference is whether you build a wall around your pain or build a throne on top of it. Your wounds are not your cage, they're your weapon. They teach you. They burn you into something sharper. But only if you stop playing the victim. Winners don't feel like winners when they start. They feel like frauds, failures, outcasts, but they move anyway. And through the fire, they build proof. They become undeniable because consistency is power. Most of you have never stayed consistent at anything long enough to see the result. You lift for a week, quit journal for a day, quit read one book. Forget it. You chase highs and avoid discipline because discipline is boring, but it's also the only road to freedom. If you can't keep your word to yourself, how can you expect life to reward you? No one respects a man who says one thing and does another. Not even you. You hate that version of yourself, and you should, because every broken promise, every excuse, every I'll start tomorrow is a brick in the wall between you and your potential. You're either tearing that wall down or building it higher every single day. So get angry, and not at the world, at yourself. Angry enough to change. Stop looking for motivation. Start building momentum. You don't need energy. You need standards. You need a non-negotiable code. You live by men with codes. Don't need permission. They don't need hype. They just execute. And that execution compounds. You show up for a month, it's progress. You show up for a year, it's transformation. You show up for a decade, it's legacy. You were never meant to live soft and numb. You were built to carry weight, to protect, to lead, to conquer, not in some movie way, but in your real life, with your real habits, your real work, your real character. But it starts with one brutal, honest truth. You are a loser until you do something about it. Not a victim, not unlucky, not misunderstood. A loser. And that's not an insult, it's a diagnosis. And the cure is in your hands. Most men die, never facing this truth, never doing the work. They hide behind comfort, behind women, behind fantasy, behind lies. But not you, because if you're still listening, you've already felt it. The shift, that fire that's waking up in you right now, don't ignore it. Feed it. Cut out everything that makes you soft. Cut out every voice that keeps you small. You don't need more opinions, you need action. Action builds momentum, and momentum builds power. You don't need more talking, you need a mission. Wake up with one goal every day to become a man you respect, to make your past self jealous and your future self proud. You're not here to be saved, you're here to become dangerous in the best way, disciplined, clear, sharp, grounded, and ready for whatever comes next. And when that voice creeps in, again, the one that says you're not enough, remind it. You were never supposed to be enough. At the start, you were supposed to build into someone who is. Now, go build him. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about flexing in front of a mirror or chasing validation from people who don't matter. This is about building a core of steel inside you, a spine that doesn't bend every time life pushes back, because life will push and it won't stop. It'll throw pain, failure, heartbreak, betrayal, loss, Humiliation, it's coming whether you like it or not. And the loser version of you folds at the first hit, but the man you're becoming, he learns how to take it, not just survive it, but use it, turn the pain into fuel, turn the loneliness into focus, turn the doubt into hunger, and that shift, that moment where you stop reacting and start responding, where you stop blaming and start building, that's the moment you stop being a loser, not because the world says you made it, but because you don't care what the world says anymore. See, being a man today means carrying weight. And most men can't even carry themselves. They break under boredom, they crumble under pressure. They distract themselves from the silence. Because the silence is where truth lives, and it's loud. In that silence, it tells you the truth about how you've been living, how far you've drifted from the man you were supposed to be. And it hurts, but that hurt is the beginning. It's your call to arms, your moment of awakening, and you either numb it or face it. There is no middle ground. You don't fix your life with motivational quotes. You fix it with war daily, war against your worst instincts, against your addictions, your impulses, your laziness, your fear. That war is fought in your habits, in your discipline, in your decisions, when you don't feel like it and you still show up. When no one claps, when no one thanks you, when no one notices, and you still move forward, you still rise. Because real respect starts within. You start showing up for yourself consistently, and you'll stop caring about approval from weak men and fake leaders. You'll become the kind of man who commands respect without saying a word, whose presence makes people step differently, not because you're loud, but because you're solid, because you're grounded and they can feel it.